Welcome to beautiful Denver, Colorado. The Western Conference Finals back in the Mile High City. It's time for Game 6. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers are now one win away from eliminating Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets. Their Game 5 victory due in large part to the return to form for Lamar Odom, who sent Denver reeling in L.A. as they regain their swagger. But now these tough and talented Nuggets will be at the raucous Pepsi Center, where they've rolled all season long. Who will step up tonight? Can Denver force a Game 7? Or will the Lakers advance? Game 6 next.
One in the left corner against Robinson. One of the most remarkable comebacks. Fires a off-balance three. Bang! It's good! And you believe it. Oh, my God. Looking for the steal. Magic's got it. Lakers win it, ladies and gentlemen. It's the three for the game. Stockton hits the three. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's over. They won the West. Unbelievable.
The most important thing, guys, from my standpoint right now is, there's a lot of things up here. Enjoy the moment by playing basketball. You're a hell of a basketball team. You've come a hell of a long way to enjoy what's going to happen tonight. You're going to have to play hard. You're going to have to play physical. You're going to have to play together. And we're going to have to get a little smarter as the game goes on.
Guys, enjoy where you're at. You are in a special place. You've become a special basketball team. Enjoy the moment by energizing and continue to do what you've done all year long. You've come together as a basketball team. Tonight we come together a little bit more.
The Nugget fans hoping this will not be the final game of this dream season. You can bet the fans will do their part. It's been a great atmosphere here in Denver throughout the playoffs. So let's get things started with tonight's United States Postal Service starting lineups. Here's Nuggets public address announcer Kyle Speller.
Let's meet the visiting Los Angeles Lakers. At forward from UCLA, number 3, Trevor Ariza. At guard from Lower Merion High School, number 24, Kobe Bryant. At guard from Arkansas Little Rock, number 2, Derek Fisher. At forward from Spain, number 16, Pau Gasol. And at center from St. Joseph High School, number 17, Andrew Bynum. Head coach of the Lakers is Phil Jackson. Can you feel it?
Denver. Many believe it's been the best season in franchise history, and these fans do not want it to end tonight. As the Nuggets and Lakers get set for Game 6 of this Western Conference Finals. And good evening, everyone. Along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Green on hand. Doris Burke will join us shortly. No team has won back-to-back games in this series, but it's a little different pressure tonight being an elimination game for Denver. So what are the keys for these teams to try and respond tonight? Mark, let's start off with Los Angeles. For them to close it out, what do they need to do?
Well, there's no question about this Los Angeles Lakers team on the offensive end. When you talk about Kobe Bryant and crew, that's not a concern. They elevate their game when they're dedicated and determined on the defensive end. That was the difference in the fourth quarter of Game 5. Take a look, holding the Denver Nuggets to 18 points, a low shooting percentage, and they took care of their end of the rebounds. But how did they do it? Three things: high energy, hustle, and high octane work on the defensive boards. Outstanding job of being committed, paying attention to detail, and making the extra effort play.
Meanwhile, for the Denver Nuggets, defense has been a big part of their success this season. But Jeff, throughout the playoffs, and maybe especially in this series, it's the simple things that make the difference for Denver.
Yeah, it comes down in this series, Denver's got to make more shots. It's a make or miss league, and Denver has just not made enough shots. You see the numbers in the wins and losses. Denver has just not shot well enough. They're 29% from three-point range in this series, 42% overall. And Chauncey Billups, Carmelo Anthony, and J.R. Smith have to heat up. Chauncey Billups had a great start to Game 5, 9 quick points. Then he got a questionable second foul, went to the bench, and never regained his rhythm again. All three of their top scorers have to be on top of their offensive game to win Game 6.
They usually are on top of their offensive game when they're playing at home. During the regular season, 33-8 here in this building. During the playoffs, 7-1. The only loss was the Game 3 loss, and that's because that guy scored 41 at 18 in the fourth quarter. That was Game 3. Lakers won by 6. But they bounced back. Denver did in a big way in Game 4 in the most dominant victory of this series, winning by 19. They certainly have the crowd into it. As the Lakers trying to clinch one on the road. Let's take a look at the officials for tonight. The crew chief, the veteran Joe Crawford, with Mike Duke Callahan and Mark Wunderlich, as we're set to go for Game 6. In that Game 4 victory for the Denver Nuggets, that was one of those total team efforts. They had 7 players in double figures. The bench was superb. They overcame an off night from Carmelo Anthony. Crowd here doesn't care how they do it. They just want to force the Game 7, which would be Sunday night back in Los Angeles. Lakers, meanwhile, have been in this position before. Remember Game 6 in Houston. They had won by 40 in Game 5, wanted to wrap up the series in 6. And what happened? They started off trailing 21-3 to the Rockets and really never had a chance in that game. Bryant double-teamed Ariza. For Fisher, shot knocked down to 7. Lob it in to Bynum, and he can't finish. Ball poked away by Kobe Bryant, and a loose ball foul is going to be called. So Bryant picks up, what do they call it against Chauncey Billups? Yes, against Billups.
It's a good job by Kobe Bryant reading the pass, getting in the lane, trying to create havoc in the backcourt. Just a good read, realizing that Chauncey Billups does not have his eyes on him. Your responsibility as an outlet passer is you're the eyes for Billups. So that's the name's fault.
Apparently, Bryant pushing off, or Billups pushing off with that left arm. And Billups' first foul. Gasol aggressive in Game 5. Gets the first one to go. He's been asking for more touches, and they go to him right away.
But when he counters back to the baseline on his back end, he's very difficult because he does it quickly, and he has good touch with the left hand.
There's Carmelo Anthony. It's his birthday today. He said he just wants his team to play hard and make all the hustle plays. His first jumper won't go. Ariza the rebound. And they go inside. Bynum had some good moments in Game 5. Anthony off the miss. Nuggets at home during the playoffs, averaging 112 points per game. They've been the highest scoring team throughout the 2009 postseason. here in the Pepsi Center. Everybody stands till they score their first points. Kind of like the college atmosphere as Kenyon Martin just fires. Jones on Bryant. Kobe Bryant seen double teams throughout like he does pretty much every night. Good ball movement. Ariza open three. That's good.
I like what the Lakers are doing on the offensive end. Very patient. The Nuggets looking to double in the post and also on Bryant. They're taking the double team sort of like they did at the end of Game 5 and hitting the open man.
Anthony, as we said, has played better on the road in this series than at home. Although the game he was at home, one of them, he was sick and had the ankle problem. But he has been much better in L.A. Martin, the runner. Strong. Bynum trying to grab it. Fisher comes up with it. Fisher looking inside, instead goes out to Ariza, and that's going to be a turnover. Turnovers have been crucial more for Denver. Denver in that Game 4 victory only had 6, but then had 15 the other night in Los Angeles, and a lot of them led to easy buckets for the Lakers.
They were tied going into that fourth quarter. Shot 23%.
That's a little bit behind Anthony, and that's the second turnover for Denver. That was a strange game. Doesn't happen very often. Game 5, tied after the first, tied at halftime, and tied after the third. But by the time the fourth started, the Lakers were on that great run, and they began the fourth quarter 11-0. Ariza, not that time.
If the Nuggets don't score this time, I'd sit down anyway.
Ariza falls down, but Fisher able to come up with it. Derek Fisher puts up the jump shot. Neither team shooting well to start. LA 2 for 6. Denver 0 for 3 with 3 turnovers. Anthony takes it to the basket, and Bynum with the foul.
And this is what you have to do as a scorer. You realize you're struggling to start this ball game. Here come Anthony, put your head down and attack the body of the bigs for the Lakers. That time does a great job getting into the seams and causing the contact.
Anthony gets to the free throw line. He took 13 free throws in Game 5. And he's always been a good free throw shooter. Misfires on that one.
And I like the foul that Andrew Bynum took. He came over. No cheap foul there. He went up, contested the shot, tried to block it. Good aggressive foul by Bynum.
Denver gets on the board. Everybody can sit down.
I'm not sure you should be able to sit down on a free throw. I think you should have to score a hoop.
After 3 minutes, I think you sit down on anything. On a ball that hits the rim. Fisher inside to Gasol. Gasol comes up short. And Dene the rebound.
But the Lakers are getting really high-quality shots to start this game.
Dene goes against Bynum, goes reverse. Ball tipped up and in. Jones was there. Kobe Bryant was there. They'll score it to Jones. I'm not sure who touched that.
Well, I think Kobe Bryant was a little upset, too. Dante Jones tried to sort of half taunt him by throwing him the ball. He didn't even catch it.
Those two have had a couple of little skirmishes. As Ariza floater in the lane rolls around and drops in.
I really don't like the way that the Nuggets are defending, and especially when you talk about Trevor Ariza. He's had 3 wide open looks to start this ball game. He's not a guy that's a liability offensively. He has put himself in a position to make you pay the price when you don't defend.
Dene, who's played much better here at the Pepsi Center as he knocks it down when he has it on the road. He's gotten in some foul trouble throughout. He's fouled out of a couple of games. But here on the home floor, much more aggressive. Trying to get position. Dene doing a good job tonight. Bryant on the pull-ups. Got one go. Good defensive rebound early for Denver. Phillips blocked by Bynum, picked up by Kobe Bryant. Bryant's got one man to beat. It's Martin who grabs him. I'm going to say in the act of shooting. Martin picks up his first, and Kobe Bryant will go to the free throw line. Let's go back to that tip-in play. And if you look at the hands, it's actually Kobe Bryant. Oh, and then Jones tips it after him. Bryant will go to the line down the other end. He's taken 63 free throws in this series, and he's only missed 5. That's a 92%. It's about 13 a game, which is a tremendous number.
You do that math in your head right now if you had that one sitting there.
Statistician Dave Freed responsible for all mathematical problems on these broadcasts. Brown hits a pair, and a quick 4-0 lead for LA.
And any errors, I might add, too. Just don't give him props on what he does right. And a few mistakes along the way as well.
This point goes out as we go along. Kobe Bryant on Billups. As we said at the start of the series, for Phil Jackson, that was the priority. Get the ball out of Billups' hands. Dante Jones trying to find an opening. Anthony gets inside. Nice move. Can't finish. Gasol a rebound. Lakers come the other way. Fisher. Ariza, who's become a nice offensive machine for them. Are we going to call an offensive foul? Yes. Nene draws the charge.
I think Mark is so right, though. Ariza wide open. They get another basically non-contested drive to the basket until Nene stepped in front.
When I say offensive machine, obviously he's not a big-time scorer, but he is scored over 11 a game in the playoffs, shoots well over 50%. Anthony gets it out. Kenyon Martin spinning inside. Nice quick move from Martin.
Those are the type of moves that Kenyon Martin will have to make in order to be successful. Don't just settle with being a jump shooter. Look to put the ball on the floor.
And a whistle and a travel call on Bynum. We're not even midway through the first. George Karl going to his bench as J.R. Smith's going to come in.
You're talking about how the Lakers bigs are defending the Nugget bigs, or they're daring them to be jump shooters. That doesn't mean you have to be a jump shooter. Kenyon Martin, using his skill, puts the ball on the floor, goes by the bigger defender in Bynum.
Smith quickly in. Dante Jones sits down. Jones normally only plays early in the first, but not this quick. Trying to get J.R. Smith going. Nice pass to Martin. Blocked by Gasol. Lakers had 12 blocked shots in Game 5. And Gasol had 5 of them. And a quick foul down the other end. That'll go against Denver. J.R. Smith quickly picks up one. And we'll have our first timeout. Just past the midway point here in the first quarter. Laker defense was superb in the second half of Game 5. Already got a couple of block shots here in Game 6. Early on here in Game 6, Lakers by 2.
Welcome back to Denver, where the Nuggets do indeed face elimination, a circumstance that has not been kind to Carmelo Anthony thus far in his young career. He is 0 for 4 when facing elimination. Chauncey Billups, what difference does he make? Well, George Karl says, I believe that will make all the difference in the world. And for Chauncey Billups, well, somebody else had some thoughts to Carmelo Anthony on what his impact might be. Let's hear what Carmelo was told over the summer.
Kobe called me and said, you got what you was looking for, and I was like, what are you talking about? I was just, everybody joke of the summer now. I got what I'm looking for, but, it was a great conversation, man, and he told me back then, he said, if you do what you got to do, I'll see you in the Western Conference Finals, and here we are today.
Kobe also told him, listen, Allen Iverson is a great player. There is no doubt about that. But what your team needs more than anything else is a quarterback. And you have one now in Chauncey Billups, Mike.
Well, they can't kid him anymore, Doris. He said during the summer with the U.S. Olympic team, they were busting on him because he never got out of the first round. Then they were making fun of him. He said, hey, every team in the West is adding players. You guys lose Marcus Camby. You lose Eduardo Nahara. So he was taking a lot of heat from his USA teammates, but now he's the one smiling here in the Western Conference Finals.
Kobe Bryant has something in common with Coach Van Gundy because he said the same exact thing to me in the summer. You take care of your business, I'll see you in the Western Conference Final, and you were right.
Fisher takes care of business there. Off to 3 of 10 from the field start, close to 3 turnovers. Good ball denial from Trevor Ariza. Martin gets it inside, and that's a hard foul by Bynum. That's going to be 2 on Bynum. And Kenyon Martin will go to the free throw line.
And I feel bad for Bynum. You know, he's protecting the basket twice, and he's going to go to the bench because of 2 breakdowns that weren't his. He's doing the right thing protecting the basket, but it's that foul trouble that always plagues him.
That was similar to the foul in Game 4, which was initially called a flagrant, then rescinded. And that one just considered a good hard foul. So Martin to the line as Lamar Odom will check in with Bynum picking up that second.
I think if you're Kenyon Martin, you can understand because you made a similar hard foul. Kobe Bryant in transition. This is good playoff basketball. Send the guy to the line.
And even if they can't understand, who cares? They're not on your team.
Off the mark. We say it, and we've said a lot in the playoffs, and it gets magnified in postseason. As free throws can really come back to haunt you in big playoff games. Gasol tried to save it. Here comes Billups. Billups pulls up. That's a 2. Won't go. J.R. Smith can't control, and Ariza has it. Gasol takes his time. Now wants to repost. Martin undersized, but he's a good rugged defender. Here's the double. Fisher to Bryant. Shot clock at 8. Bryant gets inside, elevates, and gets the roll.
But you see inside-outside attack, much more patient for the Lakers offensively. Pau Gasol getting his touches, and it's not about him scoring. He's throwing it out of the double team.
The reason now on Phillips, Kobe Bryant guarding Anthony in the transition defense. Smith hoists up the 3. That's good. And what a huge sign that is for Denver. They had that great Game 4, but just 1 of 10 from downtown in L.A. the other night.
They need J.R. Smith aggressive and knocking down shots. That's when they're a totally different team.
Fisher looking for Gasol. Lakers definitely trying to get the ball inside early. Gasol, a good passing big man, gives it to Odom, and Odom banks it in.
It's awfully tough, Coach, I'm sure you would agree, to double-team Pau Gasol when Nene has him under control. Too many weapons on the perimeter for the Lakers.
Yeah, and they're getting into full rotation, so they've got their big men closing out on small, and it's really inverting their rebounding positioning as well.
Anthony, good hard drive, gets inside, backs it in. And scoring in so many different ways as Carmelo Anthony gets his first field goal.
Well, he's really become a much better pick-and-roll player over the years. That's not something he went to in college, and it's something he's getting better and better at.
J.R. Smith on Bryant. Smith has actually played some nice defense in this series. Ariza gets it, drives inside, and throws it down. Lakers doing a good job finding the open man.
And the Nuggets are not doing a good job in their double team.
Phillips straight on 3, puts it in. Denver 2 for 2 from downtown. You said it at the top, Jeff. It's a team that's been struggling from three-point range. Sometimes it's as simple as just making your shots.
Exactly. It's a make-or-miss league. You got to make to win in this league.
Anthony knocks it out. In Denver, maybe as much as any team in the NBA, their offense really fires up their defense. It's that way with everybody, but maybe more so with these Denver Nuggets. Just over 2.5 remaining in the first. Denver back within 1. Just over 2.5 remaining. First quarter of Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Lakers leading by 1. Their leading scorer has been Trevor Ariza. And it's not so unusual. He's played very well on the offensive end.
He sure has.
Be aggressive. Go to that board. React to the ball. 1, 2, 3. You want to pick up the pace a little bit. So you're flowing in your offense. Running your lanes.
Ariza's 3 for 4 for 7 points. They're leaving him open in their double-teaming schemes, and he's getting at the basket. That one came off a double team and a dribble drive. Denver's going to have to do a better job of protecting the lane and the three-point line in their double-teaming scheme.
Phil Jackson talking about picking up the pace. Ariza loves that pace. Very good in the open floor. But he's been one of the real surprises in this postseason. And how his game has developed and how important he is for LA. Bryant, the drive. Looked like he was going to throw it down and a little scoop finger roll.
Kobe 5 years ago would have dunked that. This guy's played 13 hard years in the NBA.
Hey, Father Time is undefeated.
Smith misses that one. Ariza the rebound. With all the plays old, still only 30 years old, Kobe Bryant. Chris Anderson has come in for Denver. Bryant gets inside, flips it up over Anderson, won't go. And the mark down on the boards. Odom goes to help on Anthony. Phillips back out. Anthony wide open for three. Won't go. His three-point shooting is really struggling since game one.
If you're Lamar Odom right now, you're being defended by Chauncey Billups. Good job of reading.
Odom, second opportunity, banks in the second one. What a game he had. In game 5, finally broke out of the slump. He admitted he was playing poorly. Bump Smith there. Smith goes at him again. Gets inside. Nice move from J.R. Smith.
Good aggressive move by J.R. Smith. Reloading. Lakers, they have to be disappointed with that help defense. No one there to get Odom back.
There's Ariza again. Sets. Knocks down the three. Trevor Ariza, 10 points here in this first quarter. He's already had a 20-point game in the series and also had 16 here in Denver in game 3.
Second time he's been able to get free just off that little weak side stagger action.
Anthony gets inside, lays it in. 5 points for Carmelo Anthony. 4-point game as they wind down the first quarter. Bryant double team telling Odom to go down. And defensive 3 seconds call against Denver. It's against Carmelo Anthony, so 1 shot technical.
You're the Nuggets. You got to talk about the space that Trevor Ariza is getting on the offensive end. That's inexcusable. You don't want to allow a guy like Trevor Ariza to get going early because he will be a problem later on, stepping in rhythm with confidence.
Ariza in the playoffs, as Bryant gets up with a technical, shooting 48% from downtown. Prior to this season, his career mark was 21%. He was a poor free throw shooter, but when he got hurt last year and broke his foot, he spent a lot of the time in rehab just working on his shot and his range, and it's made an enormous difference.
They should take a hammer to a lot of guys in this league's foot over the summer. I mean, seriously, this guy went, as you said, as a detriment to your spacing to now helping your spacing.
Good defense from Anthony Carter. Bryant misses. Anderson the rebound. Final seconds. Anthony gets it to Carter. Carter with a 2-pointer. And that will end the first period. Lakers shoot 53%, but that's the guy who's their leading scorer. A couple of 3-pointers, and he's in double figures after 1 already.
Doing a good job of making plays. Denver Nuggets daring him to make shots. Trevor Ariza says, I put too much time in not to step in with confidence. You put the time in, things will come.
With Phil Jackson, one of your themes coming in was reacting to the ball aggressively, Coach. How did you think your guys pursued that?
All right. You know, this game started out like 2 heavyweight boxers that have been fighting against each other over the years. Just kind of sparring back and forth. No real high energy yet. So I haven't really seen the reactive quality yet that we have to have. Each team's trying to make the other team kind of overplay and do the things that they want to work on. Right now, we got the better hand of it.
Denver is coming with some double teams. How do you think your guys are reacting to those?
I think they pulled off their double teams. They wanted to pull them off. And that's something they did mid-quarter. We have to adjust to that.
Mike.
All right, Doris. Hey, Mark, is that boxing match he refers to, is that a Ernie Shavers, Ron Lyle fight or an Ali Frazier?
Are you old enough to remember Ernie Shavers and Ron Lyle? I'm awfully impressed with you.
Well, one's classic and one's a little sloppy. What do we have in the first?
Well, if I'm Phil Jackson, I just hope as Carmelo Anthony gets another paint drive that my defense does not look punch drunk.
Anthony, meanwhile, missed his first three. He's hit his last three, and it's a three-point game. Jordan Farmar in the game. Always interesting to see which point guard Phil Jackson is using. A lot of it has to do with matchups as Gasol knocks down the shot. Vujacic and Luke Walton also in. So the only starter out there right now for LA is Gasol. Walton is on Anthony. Vujacic is on Anderson. Now goes back to Smith, gets inside. Nice move from Smith.
But Vujacic made a mistake. He rotated to Chris Anderson, leaving J.R. Smith, and then tried to get back to Smith. That's a difficult closeout. Smith, good job putting the ball on the floor and attacking the rim.
Gasol doubled out to Farmar. Farmar's been taking some quick threes, not that time. He reposts with Gasol. Shot clock at 4. Farmar in the drive, kicks it out, throws it away to Carter. Carter, down pass ahead to Gasol. Odom looks to push. Farmar, Vujacic for 3, puts it in. Sasha Vujacic hit a big one in the first half of Game 5, but he struggled shooting the ball.
You turn over the basketball, you're going to pay the price. Good job by Jordan Farmar, being patient, delivering the pass to
Vujacic bellies up on Smith. These two have gone at it a little bit here. We have a whistle. And a defensive 3 seconds against LA. So a one-shot technical. Our NBA calendar is Carmelo Anthony. He'll shoot the one-shot technical. Saturday on TNT, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 6. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. Cleveland winning last night, so now it's 3-2. And Sunday on ABC, if there's a Game 7, we'll be at Staples Center in Los Angeles. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. And then Game 1 of the NBA Finals next Thursday on ABC. Our coverage beginning at 8:30 Eastern. Still no idea when that Game 1 will be or who will be playing. Carter on the drive. Anthony gets inside. Running shot won't go. Anderson battling. Out of bounds. And there's 2 on the shot clock. Carter will inbound. Luke Walton just grabbing a hold of Carmelo Anthony before the ball was inbounded. So Walton picks up his first. And it's a 2-shot foul because it came before the ball was inbounded.
That's a bad foul by Luke Walton. You got to be smarter defensively. 2 seconds on the shot clock. You allow Carmelo Anthony to just go to the line. Inexcusable.
Well, Joey Crawford was right in the line to see Walton grab a hold. His free throw bounces in.
Here, they're going to screen for Anderson. With Anderson.
Obviously not a lot there, but enough to slow him down in the initial inbound.
If I'm Luke Walton, the only thing I would worry about is make that call all game long. Just be consistent. It's a tough call. If you're Luke Walton, you got to be smart.
3-point game. We're just over 2 minutes gone by here in the second. Well, Phil Jackson is right. There's still kind of a feeling out process a bit. Dangerous pass gets to Odom. Vujacic tries it again. Way off. Maneri the rebound. Quick outlet. Both teams looking to push on the opportunity. Lakers get back on D. Smith again to the basket. Drive. Bank shot's good. Beautiful move from J.R. Smith. Taking it to the goal. He's got 9.
I have no idea how this series is going to end, but J.R. Smith has made some big-time improvements during this series.
Fires a 3. Way off the mark. Maybe not the best shot for him there, but if he was hitting his 3-pointers, because the other parts of his game have been so impressive. Jeff.
Exactly. He's passed the ball, he's put it on the ground and finished, and he's defended hard.
He's only had one game where he shot well, as he leans back and knocks that down. And the Nuggets have their first lead of the night. 11 points in 9 minutes for J.R. Smith. Phil Jackson wants time on the first standing ovation of the night.
Well, again, he's played mostly as a 3-point shooter, but driving by Vujacic. Good body control, good touch, and then off the pick and roll. Little step back going to his left, balances up, knocks it in. J.R. Smith rolling.
Second quarter in Denver. The Nuggets have taken the lead after trailing by as many as 6. It's now 31-30. J.R. Smith ignited them. 11 points in 9 minutes. Jeff Van Gundy, you've talked about how impressed you are with Smith, but you're not the only one. His teammate Chauncey Billups has been impressed in his first year playing with a young man.
He is pretty much a student of the game. He wants to be great. Works extremely hard. So a lot of the shots that I've seen him taking before I started working out with him, I would always say, what is he, what are you doing, And then working out with him, I realized that he works on those crazy shots. And it really blew my mind even more.
Well, sometimes they are crazy shots. But we have seen a J.R. Smith, a well-rounded player in this series.
Well, he's not just looking to score. We watched him take up a game forward, his ability to make plays and dish the ball out. He's doing a great job of being aggressive and not just settling with shooting jumpers tonight.
Luke Walton shot in and out. So, score of the goal is Walton. It's a nice feed from Kobe Bryant. Bryant is actually leading the Lakers in assists in this series. He got 8 in Game 5.
Exactly, and right now, all he wants to do is pass. So Denver's got to make him shoot. Again, a late double team by Plaza. Good cut by Walton along the baseline. Another wide open shot off the double team with the low post against Bryant.
Smith fires away. At that time, Anderson off balance, lost it out of bounds. Crowd wanted a foul, but I think it was his own man who actually bumped it.
I really like what Phil Jackson did. Get Vujacic out of the game and put Kobe Bryant on J.R. Smith. This is a situation where you have to treat it like it's Game 7. The guy has heated up. Somebody has to attempt to cool him down.
He's one of those guys that if he gets his confidence going, he can be explosive. Had a couple of 40-point games in the regular season. Farmar is open. Can't get the three to go. Part of the rebound, and he's fouled. It's going to go against Luke Walton. That's his second.
But I really don't like the defense that the Nuggets are playing, giving up wide open shots. If you're Kobe Bryant or Jordan Farmer in that situation, you come back and run the same exact thing. That's a shooter stepping into an uncontested jumper.
Fighting over the screen. Smith forced it in. Smith guarding Bryant down the other end. He's guarded him a lot in this series. Ball stripped out of Bryant's hands. Nice play by Smith. Back to Clazer. Clazer in for the layup. Missed it, but Smith on the follow. 13 now for J.R. Smith. And he's ignited the crowd as he often does here at the Pepsi Center. Elliott to Bryant. Poked away by Nene. Denver energized. Carter alley-up to Anderson. Threw it behind him, and then Nene with a foul to prevent Walton from starting off at a fast break.
Kobe Bryant upset. One-on-one isolation. Felt like there was a lot of contact. That's a strip of the basketball by J.R. Smith. Good job by the Nuggets, forcing Bryant not to just beat one guy, but help was there quick.
And Denver continues to struggle in their efficiency on the fast break. They've blown 3 fast breaks already in this game.
Odom flips it up and in. Lamar Odom off the bench with 6 points.
You know, Bryant understands that the double team is coming. Right now, it's almost like a decoy. He is setting you up to double and making plays.
Nene trying to left hand, won't go back and tips it out. Nene will try it again, spinning inside, poked away by Odom.
You know, he understands. Double team is coming. When it does, he's a willing passer early on, looking to get other guys involved offensively. It was so effective in Game 5, and he was looking to continue.
Anderson lost it, got it, lost it, takes it out, plays it. Walton got a piece of it. Odom puts it away again. Odom to Bryant, to Farmar. Farmar looking inside. And he called for travel. He dragged his pivot foot. 9 turnovers by the Lakers. And a timeout call. Midway point, second quarter. Lakers by 1. Game 6, Kobe Bryant, the Lakers trying to close out the Nuggets tonight. Right now, they lead by 1. We're just past the midway point of the second. And, of course, LeBron James trying to keep his team alive. Unbelievable numbers. Another triple-double last night. Orlando still 3-2. And you guys, we're hearing that we're all witnesses as Anthony Carter comes up short. We truly are seeing something special.
Oh, the guy is an incredible basketball player. There's no secret about that. I love the way that as the stakes rises, the guy continues to take his game to a brand new level. A thing of beauty watching him play.
It's not a thing of beauty. It's disgusting. I am so sick of his greatness in these last 5 games. I can barely take it. I've got 2 words for Orlando. Food poisoning. That's the only thing you can do to stop that guy.
Phillips can't hit. What did we say earlier today? Brothers stand right now in peril.
Oh.
And a reaching foul call. It's just part of what he did last night.
Really simple basketball when you talk about what Mike Brown decided to do. Put the ball in the hands of the best player on the floor and trust that he will make the right decision. Time and time again, especially in the fourth quarter, it was the LeBron James show.
And to me, on those plays, what you saw is you can't give him everything. And they gave him everything. They gave him assists. They gave him drive. And Pietrus has got to have a game plan more where he can keep him in front of him. And just, hey, if he makes jump shots, you got to say congratulations.
Derek Fisher trying to make a jumper. Gets it to go, a 3-pointer. And the Lakers 4 for 8 from downtown. They're backed up by 4. Fisher started to hit some shots the other night in Game 5. He's got a couple of field goals here this season.
Well, if I'm George Karl, I got to get J.R. Smith in the ball game. It's good to see you got Carmelo and Anthony back in the ball game, but you need their presence on the offensive end.
Good defense from Gasol, making Anthony alter his shot. Smith ready to come back in along with Kevin Martin. Carmelo Anthony just 3 of 9 from the field. Gasol pass deflected. Good hands defensively. I think it was Nene. Carter comes the other way. Lakers have 10 turnovers in this first half, and we still have 4 minutes to go. Nene. Well, you look at the shooting numbers. Lakers at 56%. Nuggets at 37%. Yet they're only down 4. Again, the turnovers are part of that. Helping keeping Denver in. Gasol lost his pivot foot. It's the 11th turnover. Of course, if Denver wins tonight, we'll be at the Staples Center in LA on Sunday night. Game 7 for the right to go to the NBA Finals. Our coverage will begin at 8 Eastern with GMC NBA Countdown. 8:30 Eastern tip-off. Nuggets and Lakers. Perhaps a Game 7 coming up Sunday night on ABC. As we said, the last time Lakers wanted to avoid a Game 7 was in the previous round against Houston, and they got waxed by the Rockets. And then took care of business in Game 7 as Trevor Ariza picks up his second. And we have alternated wins throughout this series. Each team has won once on the other's score. Phillips. Get it to go. Gasol tips it right to Fisher. Under 3.5 to play in the second. Fisher to Ariza. Bryant. And doing a lot of passing here in the first half. Nice feed to Gasol. Gets it back off the deflection. Draws the foul. Nene his second foul. And Kobe Bryant will see 2.
The guy is such a brilliant passer. Good coming off the handoff. Good bounce pass to Gasol. Deflected. Gets the loose ball. I think what's understated about Bryant is his strength. The ability to take a hit, regather, recoil. You rarely see him get knocked to the ground.
And I like that Phil Jackson stood up after that drop pass from Pau Gasol, yelled at him, said, you got to get tough. This is playoff basketball. You have to put yourself in position to catch it, understand that help's going to be there, and look to attack. There's no secret. That's the drop pass, but you talk about Bryant. This is how you attack the bigs of the Nuggets. Force the contact and go to the line.
They called that foul on Kenyon Martin. It was really Nene's the one that had the contact. So Nene still has one foul. Martin has two. And Bryant hits another free throw. 5 for 5 from the line. Lakers have scored 7 straight. Phillips against Fisher. Pass deflected. Gets it right back and then a foul. The Lakers defended it well, but Fisher draws the person. And Lakers in the penalty. Well, Phillips will go to the line with his team down by 6 in an elimination game for the Denver Nuggets. Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets right now trailing by 6. As Chauncey Billups will go to the line. And guys, we've kind of brought this up early on in the series. And Billups, his scoring responsibility has increased here as opposed to Detroit. It was a different team certainly in the Detroit, but they need him to be aggressive for them really to be successful. Would you agree?
Well, I would think they need pretty much the same Chauncey Billups. In Detroit, he was a guy that looked to score, but what he did was he picked his spots. Similar situation here, but they don't have the same explosive scoring on the front line that Detroit had when they were arguably the best in basketball, so it's a different look.
And remember, Detroit had a shooting foreman in Rasheed Wallace that spread the floor, so a much harder team as far as for Chauncey Billups to play with here, because on their pick and rolls as Bryant knocks it in, Chauncey Billups, when he comes off his pick and roll, he doesn't have as much room because the fours for Denver are 15-foot shooters versus 3-point shooters.
2.5 remaining, 6-point lead. LA's defense has been solid. Martin gets inside. Not that time. The defense, that is Martin now at 5 points.
And Phil Jackson told Doris that they were going to make an adjustment if the double teams didn't come. That's exactly what happened in the last possession. They're going right back to Bryant, one-on-one against Smith.
Bryant to Ariza. An open three. Knocks it down again. That's his 3rd three-pointer.
But, Coach, part of the problem is Carmelo Anthony is pretty much in no man's land. He's half doubling, not doubling. You have to either commit or stay at home on your man.
Right, and there's no rotation. I mean, Ariza has proven to be an outstanding 3-point shooter. You got to rotate off of him and kick out to Fisher in the corner.
And a blocking foul call. And Trevor Ariza has 3 personals.
Well, defensively, if you're in no man's land, then I don't know whether to rotate or not. It's a tough situation. You got to communicate, understand what you're doing, and then follow the game plan.
But I'll also say, with that effort, I don't care what game plan you have. Carmelo Anthony started in no man's land and never moved defensively. He wasn't rotating back to the corner, back inside. He was just standing and watching. Look at that pass. I mean, that's just not getting it. That effort is not getting it.
But Ariza sits down with 3 fouls. He's their leading scorer with 13. 5 of 6 from the field. His terrific postseason continues. Ariza's going to be a free agent this summer. A lot of teams would be interested in him. The Lakers certainly want him back.
Well, I think the Lakers will end up signing Ariza, and if they have to make a decision between Ariza and Odom, I think they're going to go with Ariza.
Bryant knocks down the jumper. 46-39, 7-point Laker lead. Kobe Bryant now with 13.
This is not the same physical Denver Nuggets defense that we've become accustomed to watching.
Offensive foul. Nene with a moving screen, and that's his 2nd. Good job from Luke Walton selling it and trying to fight over the screen. Well, he didn't have to sell much of that. He came with a pretty good shot in the back. Coming up on a minute remaining in the first half. Bryant puts it in. Kobe Bryant now with 15, and this is the largest lead of the first half.
Demanding the basketball and taking over on the offensive end.
Nene backs in. Phillips inside. Wanted to get it to Nene, but he went to another spot. And that's now 8 turnovers for Denver. Bruce Anderson, the Birdman, will check back in. They don't want Nene to pick up another foul. He has 2. When you look at the shooting numbers, Lakers 61%, and the Nuggets 38%. What's helped Denver is they got to the free throw line more, and LA's turned the ball over more. Fisher to Gasol. Gasol finishes strong in the first double-digit lead of the night.
Little misdirection. Everybody anticipated going to Bryant. Good read.
Phillips, smart play. He goes right at Odom and draws the foul.
Everybody in the building expecting the ball to stay in the hands of Bryant. This is a good aggressive play by Derek Fisher. Causing the help and then the drop pass. Al Gasol does a much better job of catching and finishing.
And Mike, this is the mistake many teams make. Thinking coming home is the answer. It's not the answer. Your fans are not the answer. There's only one answer. Play hard, play together, and execute. And that doesn't matter where you play. So I just, you hear it all the time in the playoffs. We're going home. We're going home. Our fans will carry us. No, they're not.
There's almost, and you said this earlier, even Phil Jackson kind of intimated it. It's almost a tentativeness. I mean, they're playing, I don't know if they're playing hard, but it's not the same kind of intensity that we saw maybe in games 3 and 4.
They're certainly not playing the same way. And this Nuggets team can't beat the Lakers. They're at their best when they're standing face to face, aggressively and playing physically.
About a 4-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Anthony guarding Kobe Bryant. Anthony on the drive. Bank shot won't go. Nearly tipped in by Odom. Gasol gets it back. Bryant steps back for 3. It's good. Kobe Bryant drills the 3 with 4.1 remaining. Here goes Carmelo Anthony. Plenty of time. Drives down the lane. Running layup. No good. And that ends the first half. A 9-1 run. Kobe Bryant thought he was fouled on the initial shot, but it wound up being beneficial to the Lakers. Because it looked like he got hit on the way to the basket initially.
Well, you get the impression that this guy realizes this is a must-win ball game. Step back, knocks down the 3, knows right away it's good. Outstanding half, starting off being a facilitator and then taking over offensively.
He has 18 in the first half, and he's with Doris.
Kobe, Trevor Ariza got you started. He had plenty of uncontested 3s. What were those a product of?
Well, just them double teaming and zoning up whenever I have the ball and Powell has the ball. We did a good job with our spacing.
You got hot late. What was so successful about the offense?
Well, just getting open looks. If a guy's guarding me, got his hands down, I'm going to shoot it. And, I got a good rhythm.
How do you make sure you close this thing out in the second half?
Stay disciplined. Stay disciplined defensively.
Thank you, Kobe. Mike?
How about